It's impossible to manufacture the perfection of CAD. In this lesson, we're going to talk about how the cutting process affects the tolerancing. So let's get into it. Now, the cutting process is directly linked to how close your parts are going to come out to your CAD design. And that link is called tolerancing. Now, what is tolerancing and where does it come from? In the manufacturing world, this is an accounting of the manufacturing process of a lot of different key factors. It could be a little bit of slop. That's probably not the right word to use for the machines, but a little bit of movement in the machines that can come from a lot of different factors, as well as the temperature of the room, the work holding. All of this can affect the outcome of that part. How we end up dictating it is we use a factor of the unit plus or minus the value that we're looking for out of that dimension. Now, what does that actually mean? If I look at my part, I have two parts drawn here, a part A and a part B, and we'll talk about these a little bit more in a second. If I have my dimension of my edge to the center of my hole, what I'm looking for of 1 inch is an exact measurement. Well, in the perfect world, that's one thing. In the real world of manufacturing, I'm probably not going to hit exactly 1 inch. Now, we can have an example of, say, plus or minus 5 thousandths of an inch. Now, what are we actually talking about here? A human hair to 2 human hairs is how much movement we're expecting to see in that part. And this is a window in which we allow that part to operate in to make it a good part. So on this, we have this 2-inch measurement here. If I have a 5 thou tolerance, that means I can go below and above that by that amount. So on this one right here, if my part comes out to be 1.995 to 2.005, that is still a good part from the manufacturing side, and you're going to end up needing to accept it. We can change these tolerances to be tighter. Typically that takes fancier machines, the cost of the part goes up as well, and then we can open up these tolerances, which allow us to use maybe cruder materials or cruder machines, making it also cheaper. So just understand that that tolerancing needs to be built into your parts, and it directly affects how much cost it is, how easy it is to make. Now that we kind of understand what tolerancing is, right, it's just that allotment that we have in there, let's talk about how it affects your designs. Now I'm going to introduce tolerance stacking, and tolerance stacking can come in a lot of different flavors. This can come from the manufacturing process. We talked about kerf several times in this chapter, or that width that we're end up creating in the part between the waste and your actual good part. That kerf, if you remember right in the first lesson, we have a taper to that. So from the top to the bottom of the part, on the laser process, we are going to see 2 different dimensions. That kerf alone is adding tolerance to your part, depending on which side of the part you're using. Now, part to part, let's use these 2 examples right here. Let's say part B has some through holes, and part A has 4 tapped holes. If this part was to essentially layer over and mount down to these tap holes, I have 2 dimensions on the 2 different parts that are supposed to be exactly the same. From this edge to the center of my hole and this edge to the center of that hole are supposed to both be 1 inch. Now in this case right here, let's say that part A, I end up having that dimension come out to be 1.005. Now this part's good, right? We're within 5 thou tolerance, we're on the high side of it. And on this one, let's say it comes out to be 0.995. Again, good part. Now it's on the far extreme bottom of its tolerancing. So on both of these, my part tolerances are plus or minus 0.005, but my assembly tolerance is going to be 10 thousandths on these, right? So we have a 10 thou difference between these 2 good parts. If I'm designing this through hole part down here, I need to account for the assembly's tolerance. So if I make these through holes too tight to the bolt that's going to be going through it, and I don't allot for those 2 different operations or 2 different cuts, then I'm going to not have a good alignment in the end, and my assembly is not going to work. So understanding that when you have multiple parts, that happens. Now, operation to operation, if I have multiple operations, say I cut this part out and then a separate operation does the tapping of the holes, I can also create some kind of leeway both from the different mounting processes or my setups all the way down to the different machines that are handling it. And each time I do that, I need to account for more and more tolerancing as I add different operations. This is going to be one of those things that as the parts get more complex and as we go through this chapter introducing more secondary operations like bending, hardware installation, we need to account for that tolerancing. So we'll see that again as we get into bending. Now, this is going to be a little less detailed to using a manufacturer like SendCutSend, whereas you give them this DXF, they're going to hold it to an overall tolerance of these holes need to be within plus or minus 5 of your DXF. But if you're giving a hand drawing to a manufacturer, or say a drawing from CAD, the way in which you call out your dimensions can directly stack up and cause the manufacturing process to deviate from your intended final part. Now with this, if I were to dimension from one common point, say this is our common origin point, I can dimension each one of these with respect to this common point. Now this is the correct way to do this. If I were to dimension it like I have up here, where I have my first hole dimensioned to my edge and then hold a hole and hold a hole, what ends up happening is that each one of these dimensions has 5/1000ths of allotment on my tolerance. So then I can add up each one of these individually, and this final hole can be over 20/1000ths farther over than I would originally intended to do. So dimensioning like these two green units right here is the correct way to do it. Pick a common origin so that your tolerancing is with respect to that origin. Again, I'm just going to say it one more time. SendCutSend doesn't necessarily have to deal with this because they're going off of your original DXF or your step file and we're referencing it off of that. But you should understand that this is also called tolerance stacking. Now the last thing, this one's a little bit slightly off topic, but there is factors like tabs or work holding on the parts that can directly affect the fitment of your parts. Tabs, say on the inside of your holes here, so if I have a little tab in here or on the outside, is going to stick into that work area where your bolt's going to go through or that part's going to sit into. These are easily sanded away, but unless you want to do that secondary operation, you should account for them as well. So with that in mind and understanding tolerances, we're going to finish the lesson here. In the next lesson, we're going to start diving into secondary operations, the first one being bending. So we'll see you on the next one.